Hello.
Hi.
It's so great to see you.
Yeah, you too. Let me just get my volume up there.
It's so nice and sunny.
Oh, sorry. Say that again.
It's so nice and sunny where you are. It's still day. It's so weird. It's pitch black night here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's on the verge of raining. It's been like alternating sun breaks and then we're like really crappy out. So I'm like, fingers crossed that it holds. But yeah.
Yes. Well, we have a lot of people joining. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We are so excited to be talking today about turkeys. Every time I see your background, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed.
Yes.
I have
Dora here. Hopefully she'll cooperate.
Oh my goodness. Okay, tell us their names. Introduce them if you don't mind.
So this is Dora. She's one of my friendliest lap turkeys. When you raise them from poults by hand, they're, your friendliest ones. And then, so we've got, this is Ringo here. He's my very jealous tom turkey. He loves all the attention. And then there's like his son, Junior. There's like a few kind of wondering what's going on. Anyway, a couple will probably come over and say hi. I have treats. That always helps.
Oh, goodness. I see that we have a Dora fan already in the comments.
Yeah, she's a super sweetie. She gets lots of airtime.
So why don't you start by telling us a bit about why you started raising backyard turkeys? I mean, I read your book, and it's a great book, by the way. I highly encourage everyone to pre-order it. I got a review copy up front because that's a perk of being in the industry. But the pictures alone make the book worth it. They're so beautiful and they're so fun. But then also the information is also great. So encourage you to do that. But why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in this?
I had backyard chickens for a few years and really loved them. They inspired us to move out to the country. And then, once you get a little more acreage, you start thinking, oh, wow, what else can I add? And so for me, turkeys was just the next logical progression. I had read some people say if you have raised chickens and love them, you'll love turkeys times 100. Their personalities are just so huge and they're, so beautiful. The males, when they're strutting, are just like such a sight. And I read some positive things about them and I thought, yeah, we have the space. Let's, jump in and see how that goes.
So we have an errant chicken back there too.
Yeah, I have a few chickens that live with turkeys, and that is one thing people ask about. And the main thing is there's a protozoan parasite that's called histomoniasis, blackhead, and certain parts of the country that's an issue, and chickens can be a carrier for that, and then it is fatal when the turkeys pick it up. So that's something you want to check with your local ag extension office to see. Here in Oregon, where I live, it's not an issue. So I can keep turkeys and chickens and, they do pretty well given enough space. But, like with anything, you want to watch and just make sure everyone's behaving. And, sometimes you have to intervene, but that's just, how it goes when you've got lots of animals and lots of personalities.
How is it different raising chickens versus turkeys?
The main thing I would say is that turkeys are extremely independent. They're more closely related to their wild ancestors than chickens, which have been, bred to be more domestic. And turkeys still have a lot of that wild instinct. So when it comes to things like housing, especially, or just handling them, even for healthcare and things, or trying to get close to them just because, you want them to be your pet. It takes a little more work in kind of understanding their personalities and their independence. They have a healthy bit of skepticism to new things. And so just patience is important. Try to kind of, learn from what they're trying to tell you, and then just be prepared to modify your setup as you go along. And once you kind of understand what they want and what they don't like.
What is your favorite and least favorite thing about raising turkeys?
Oh gosh. I mean, their eggs are really gorgeous. I think that was one of the early things that I fell in love with. You know, we all kind of go for the rainbow egg basket. I should have brought one out here, but they're about 150% the size of a chicken egg. So they're big, they have really pretty speckles, and they're all kind of different. So, I mean, anyone that has gotten into, chasing the rainbow eggs with chickens will love the eggs that you get from your turkeys. But yeah, I mean, having a lap turkey is super fun too. It's just, their big size. It makes it just extra fun. And least favorite thing I would say, I mean, the toms can be a handful. My tom does not like my husband. So sometimes that makes it difficult. He needs to get in here and do like projects for me. And it's no fun having a tom turkey kind of like, chasing you around, trying to peck you when your back is turned. So, be prepared for that. They're pretty sassy. They love their people, and then they get jealous, of anyone who, isn't their main people. So that's my husband, and he gets kind of the bad end of the stick with Ringo. But yeah, I mean, all worth it. It's all entertaining. It's all good.
I feel bad for your husband, but I also imagine that leads to a ton of really funny stories. Yeah, someone is saying that Ringo's a little spicy.
It does, yeah. I mean, I always try and follow around with my camera and video, and because it's really hilarious. He like turkeys will kind of trash talk, so Ringo will follow my husband, and he'll be gobbling and doing his fighting purr, and trying to like jump up at him, and I mean, it's pretty hilarious.
Who do you think who wins in those? Is it Ringo? Does he come out the successor?
Oh, sorry, I didn't quite get that.
You're good. Who wins in those scenarios?
Oh, he wins. Um, well, I will sometimes intervene, and so I'll just come up and I'll like give Ringo attention. So I guess you could say Ringo wins because, he gets what he wants, which is attention and to be like number one. And so I usually give in and yeah, try and keep him happy.
I have a couple more questions, and then I would love for you to introduce us to your turkeys a little more closely. Oh my goodness, that last stop.
Oh,
What does someone start raising turkeys? What are some of the intro steps?
the intro steps, I would say it's really important to put some thought to your housing. So they like it big and open. And so don't expect that you're going to be able to just put them into your chicken coop because more often than not, a chicken coop is a little smaller in terms of dimensions than turkeys like to sleep in. So they really, they don't like confined spaces. So you might need to add a new building. It can be pretty simple. I mean, sometimes it can just be kind of like a big open, like canopy, like people park their RVs or things under, or like maybe if you've got a barn, you can have a, section off a place for your turkeys. For us, we built a new structure for them because, yeah, it needs to be tall. I mean, and more than likely they're going to try and roost on top of it. So yeah, think really tall, and you'll have more chance of them actually roosting under the roof than roosting on top of it.
That sounds fun, like a little bit of hazard every single time you go to.
Exactly.
And so it's pretty easy to raise backyard turkeys, and I know that chickens are the really popular ones. How similar is it to go from chickens to turkeys, and how much time do you spend in your yard with your turkeys?
Oh, wow. There's a lot of similarities in terms of, like, yeah, housing, feeding, things like that. They do need a higher protein feed when they're growing up, so from babies to about 4 months. After that, they can be on chicken feed, layer feed if they're in a mixed flock. They don't have very many health issues, so that is simpler than chickens. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar if you've raised chickens. It's not that hard. Turkeys are pretty hardy. I mean, they can probably almost take care of themselves if given enough space, and places to forage and free range. They love to just do that, and they'll eat a lot of their, find a lot of their own food that way. Um, but yeah, I mean, it is important to also give them like a high protein food with the nutrients they need and things. Um, and then in terms of how much time I spend, probably more than you have to, because they're so fun. But I spend, probably about 20 minutes in the morning. I do my rounds of all the chickens and turkeys, and then I come out a couple times a day to do treats, and if it's hot, to like refresh water. So I mean, I probably spend about an hour a day. You could spend less, but I mean,
Why would you?
it's always nice to just take a break and enjoy them. Don't just come out to do the chores, but come out to hang out and have fun.
Oh, I love that. And I read in your book too that depending on what breed of turkey you have, they can live anywhere between 5 to 15 years, which is incredible. You have a little companion for a long time there.
Yeah, the heritage turkeys can live very long lives. Ringo is almost 10 now. And then, but if you get the broad-breasted, that's one thing to be aware of. Their lifespan is much shorter because they put on weight so quickly, and they're not really intended to be, birds you keep a long time. But if you get a heritage breed, and there's a lot of really beautiful varieties, yeah, they're very long-lived, tend to be real healthy, and yeah, I'm hoping mine live, a lot longer. But yeah, they do seem to live longer than chickens with like minimal issues. So I mean, that's really a fun thing about them. Just they have good genetics.
And I have one more question about your book this time, and then we'll go into some turkey intros and Q&A in our chat. What made you want to write this book, and what can people expect to find in it when they pre-order it in January?
I wanted to write it just because I felt like there wasn't really a lot of good written information out there when I started. And so I had a lot of trial and error. And I really like writing too. I mean, I've been writing articles for Backyard Poultry and Countryside Magazine, and I just like that opportunity to teach people what I've learned. And so I thought that would just be a fun thing to do. And Ringo being doing the photo shoot and everything, it was just a super fun thing, and I knew it would be. And I also thought it'd be just like, yeah, a really fun way to introduce people to turkeys that were maybe curious about them and wanted to know if they would be a good fit for their farm. Yeah, and I love how it turned out, and I hope it inspires a lot of people to try turkeys because they're so much fun.
And this book, not only does it include some gorgeous photos of all of your favorite turkeys that you know and love, but also some fun anecdotes and lots of incredible information about which turkey breeds to consider for what purpose you're looking for, their care, their homes, their setups, their personalities. I mean, it really goes into everything you could possibly raise turkeys. So one last shout out for Stacy's upcoming book, January. It's the absolute guide to raising backyard turkeys. There it is. You have it. Good. It is available for pre-order. You can order it wherever books are sold. You can order it through 5 to 9 Books. If you feel so inclined, please do. It is listed in our fall vibes list because absolutely, why wouldn't it be? It would be remiss to leave it out. So with that said, I will open any questions up to the chat. If anyone has any questions, first thing about turkeys, turkey care, raising turkeys, or just specific questions about her turkey, feel free to throw it in there. Stacy, would you mind giving us some more like personal up close introductions to some of our babies?
Yeah, let me see. I wonder if I just like take my phone off my camera stand here. Let's see. All right. I wish I could turn it around the other way. Okay. Let me get Ringo here.
Should be a button that's 2 arrows. It almost looks like a recycle button right under.
Oh, does it?
Around.
Hey. Oh, oops. Oh, thank you. I just learned something new. Okay, so here's Ringo. He is molting, so you'll notice his tail feathers are different lengths, but his new ones are coming in. And yeah, when they strut, they just kind of get really puffy. I mean, you'll notice he looks huge. He weighs about 20, 22 pounds. And so yeah, he'll if there's someone pointing a camera at him, he'll pretty much do that all day.
Oh,
Here's Dora again.
oh, hi, sweet Dora. Dora a lot in your.
Yeah, she's so talkative, and it makes them really fun. They have a lot of really fun vocalizations, and yeah, that's one of the things I love about them. So this
You learned
is
how to.
oh, have I learned how to talk turkey?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that was kind of like their purr they do when they're kind of like happy and inquisitive. And then yeah, they just have a lot of like really high pitched little like pops and pips. This is Junior. So he's Ringo's son. You'll notice he's not puffed out because he's less dominant of the two. And so whenever Ringo's out strutting his stuff, Junior is like very subdued and he just like submits to Ringo and that makes it easy. So they don't fight. Toms can be like really known for their aggression, but these two will get along great. This is Molly. She's another blue slate. She's Dora's sister. So I have two kinds, the blue slate, and then my other ones that are the black and white are the Narragansett. There's Ringo again. He'll just follow me. Yeah, he'll just follow me everywhere. And when I was talking about when my husband's in here and he's trying to track him, if I just get out my camera and point it at him, even if it's not on, I mean, he just will go into strut mode and be like, oh, great. Yeah, I love this. So I'll show our barn a little bit too. Yeah. There's a couple. Oh, here's a little molting turkey. Poor thing. She's losing her feathers. But this is the barn we ended up building. So I call it a barn. It's open-sided. And so we have, I should mention too, maybe I'll just do a little 360. So we have, I don't know if you can see, there's electric poultry netting here. And so that's what we use to keep the predators out. And that's how we have this open-sided barn. So, I mean, if we didn't have that electric fence, then we would need a closed barn. But this setup works for us really well. You know, it gives them the vision of their surroundings that they like, and that's what makes them use it. So, like initially, we had this smaller building that's more like a chicken coop size that we built for them. And it has an open porch that was screened in with hardware cloth. And I thought, well, that'll give them the open air feeling they want, but it was too small and they didn't use it. So
Fair.
You just trial and error, like I said.
And they're a hardy bird, so they're down for pretty much anything, sounds like.
They are, yeah. I want to give them some protection from the wind and the rain and the snow. But I mean, yeah, they're really hardy birds. They've got a lot of feathers. They're very resistant to the weather. You know, they'll sleep in the rain or in the snow, even if given other options. So, yeah, I mean, we tend to worry about them, but, you know, they're really tough. And, yeah, you'll be surprised what they can tolerate. Here's Dora again.
Oh, sweet girl. Oh, my goodness. It's so fun. I'm very jealous. If I didn't live in this, I would.
Yeah, they're super fun. Yeah, I definitely recommend them. And if a person doesn't have a ton of space, you know, a tom and two hens is like a good size starter flock. And then that gives the male, you know, two hens, if one's broody or one's raising babies, you know, then he's got another one to occupy his attentions. But yeah, you don't need many, but it's good to have, yeah, like 3 is what I recommend because, I mean, they're social. They can hang out with chickens, but they'll be happier, you know, with their own kind.
And then I know that Ringo and Dora are extremely popular. They're very cool and very camera friendly. And I'm going to ask this quietly so that maybe the turkeys don't over here and get jealous. But do you have a favorite for your whole flock?
Oh, my favorite. You know, I will have to say Dora is my current, I guess, all-time favorite. But this is dear Prudence. She was my first turkey hen. She's a favorite because the first always is. And then my first turkey that I raised by hand was Pumpkin Pie, who she's right here. She gets a
Oh,
little air time.
good.
Hi, Pumpkin. So yeah, I mean, I have lots of favorites, but Dora is my sweetest one in terms of like letting me pick her up whenever I want lap time. And so yeah, we'll say Dora.
She's been the
Not
one
Ringo.
that most of the live, right?
Yeah, yes, we love Ringo.
Do you have any tips, advice, words of wisdom for anyone looking to raise their first flock of turkeys?
I would say with turkeys, it's really important to just do your homework and be prepared. I know a lot of people kind of like, it's easy to jump into things and get carried away and maybe make a spur of the moment decision and not have your full setup ready. With turkeys, that's a little harder just because they're such big birds and you want to keep them home, you want to keep them safe. So like, yeah, get a nice structure to keep them protected. If you think you're going to, let them free range, I mean, I really recommend the electric poultry netting, again, just to keep them close to home. So yeah, be prepared, get all your like infrastructure set before you dive in. And yeah, then just be prepared to kind of watch them and adapt and let them tell you what they need and what they want.
Perfect. Well, everyone, if you are interested in raising your own turkeys, again, highly recommend Stacy's book, Absolute Beginner's Guide to Raising Backyard Turkeys, out in January, available now for pre-order. Anyone that lives in a city like me and unfortunately doesn't have the space, I highly encourage you to follow Stacy at 5 Hour Farms, Oregon, and keep up with her flock because they are so fun. They have so much personality, and every Sunday Stacy hosts Turkey Snood Sunday, where everyone will tag their turkey photos and they all get a great little feature on Monday. It's a great time for everyone. Stacy, thank you so much for introducing us to your family.
Yeah, thank you. I had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And everyone's recording. If you missed any part of it or want to rewatch it, it will be available on the 5 to 9 Books website. But we're also going to be posting clips and some highlights for the next couple of weeks leading up to.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Have a great rest of your night and give all of the turkeys hugs and snuggles from us.
Oh, will do. You can count on it. All right. Thanks so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.